Yo, yo.
Yo, how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
It's good to put a face to the name. We've talked on the phone once or twice, but this is sort of the first time where we're talking via video. So nice to meet you, and thanks for stepping up to help us out with the camp out.
Yeah, right back at you.
Cool. So I got Jason and Mackenzie, and I guess you guys have all met.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm just doing these little interviews with different people that are part of the camp out and kind of just to touch base and talk shop a little bit. And um, yeah, so let's just jump right in. I would love if each of you could answer this individually. Who are you? Kujo, who are you?
Yeah, I'm the chef and owner of Forge and Flame for Foe's Sake and Vegan Supper Club SoCal. I run multiple private vegan dining experiences and do plant-based catering all around Southern California and beyond. And we focus on using, the best ingredients possible, as well as, cooking and creating like just innovating everything, to be as best as it could be on the plant-based level.
Cool. So Forage and Flame is it's not a specific location. You're doing essentially like catering to all sorts of events. Is that the idea?
Correct. It actually was founded on like private dining experiences. Like I after COVID had shut down restaurants, I just went right into the private chefing sector and started there. And as we started to see the market for it, and I created some demand, my partner and I just decided to join forces so she could help me run all the other aspects outside of the kitchen. And yeah, that's where we got Forge and Flame. And we definitely look at bringing together and forging, relationships as well as food and community.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, Jason and Mackenzie, you guys are my homies, and I'll tell the story of how we met in a moment. But before I do that, introduce yourselves. Who are you guys?
Well, I'm Jason, my wife Mackenzie, and we actually met in a restaurant that I owned in Fallbrook called the Coal Bunker. I've worked in restaurants growing up from about 17 to 26. Worked at the Chart House, worked at Top of the Market as a grill chef, and yeah, my passion for food really came from wanting to um, expose people to what real food is and cooking food from scratch, trying to use as little, if any, minimally processed foods. So currently, my wife Mackenzie and I are doing, um, special events or pop-ups when it comes up, and we, like I said, really love to explore simple foods that are cooked with kind of old school processes, and um, yeah, just sharing that with the community of food lovers.
Yeah. I and just if any if anyone listens to this full interview, the full story of that is that I was working with a company that was trying to innovate organic free range chicken, and you guys were purchasing those chickens for use at the restaurant. And I came in to kind of consult with you about that, fell in love with your Firebox chicken sandwich. And then basically the rest is history, man. That sandwich like means it's crazy how much a sandwich means to me. But yeah, it showed me your guys' like love and passion for making something that just down to every detail is perfect. And then from there, you guys found us again, totally unrelated because we were bumping house music. And so I feel like those two things combined, like the worlds of food and of house music, and then we just became friends, and now we're hanging out all the time. So it's cool. I appreciate you guys. Um,
Absolutely.
Kujo, what was the origin story for Forage and Flame? Like, does this go way back? Were you when you were young, were you cooking stuff, or did this come up later in life? And how did this all come about?
Yeah, it came up a little bit later in life. I mean, I definitely, so my dad was a chef, but at an Irish pub, right? And I joined the Army Reserves right out of high school. I did 4.5 years right out of high school. And instead of following, like, I was like, oh, go to college and, like do all this stuff. And I kind of went into a college program and I stayed cooking at a local country club in New York, and I just couldn't beat like my obsession with being in the kitchen. So I was always up for that. And Forge and Flame really came about when my partner Crystal and I, we realized that, like, there's a lot of vegan options here, specifically in San Diego, a lot in Southern California, but it tends to be same thing, a lot of processed foods. There are so many vegan, you can go get vegan food anywhere, right? But you're going to get a breaded, chicken fillet, a Gardein chicken fillet on a bun, or you're going to have, like something deep fried or an impossible burger. And the same thing with us is like we take all of our proteins and ingredients are made from scratch as well. So we use combination of mushrooms, jackfruit, soy curls. I make my own seitan, which is made out of vital wheat gluten and is a wheat meat protein. And that is actually where we got our most recognition, because I had created a dish that was a layered seitan sandwich called the beef on weck, which is known in Buffalo, and that came with five vegan buffalo chicken wings, and we called it the vegan Torah buffalo. And from there on out, I like kind of launched my own vegan career and just made it my mission. So I moved out to California from New York in 2019, prior to COVID, to follow those dreams of like just learning and working more with plant-based and vegan cuisine. And then, of course, COVID hit. So, Forge and Flame really was founded during the heart of COVID, when my partner and I, I was working all types of like miscellaneous jobs. I had all different little gig apps and stuff for kitchen workers, people looking for, just last minute positions be filled because the entire industry got rocked. And we were just sitting one day and, we were like, let's just do this. So we did it, and we kind of totally intuitively did it on a whim and followed our passion, our dreams. And here, 4 years later, we're actually very, very well sought after. We have, wedding inquiries. We're like kind of making a name for that too, for people that are looking for a vegan special experience, and not just somebody that offers an option, but that also like lives those lifestyles. And yeah, so we're
Cool.
doing the thing. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, Jason McKenzie, what's your interest in cooking at the Campout at Van Jam? Why do you want to do this?
Well, a little going back a little bit, after leaving the restaurant I owned, I you know, wanted to take a little bit of break from doing, you know, cooking and culinary endeavors as a full time. And I really love the doing just special events and pop-ups and a little more casual
Keeps
atmosphere.
it fun instead of
Yeah, brings back some of the joy, rather than just being 12 hours in a kitchen every day. So, um, when we did the Firebox sandwich and brought that to Utopia, which obviously you were a big influence and a proponent of the Firebox chicken sandwich, gave us some new inspiration to, fulfill our culinary dreams in a totally different manner. So, it's fun when people are just dancing and enjoying music and other festival activities, and you can bring some food to add to that experience. It's much more enjoyable. So, even though the restaurant has its enjoyable moments, it's a lot more stress than doing just one-off private events or festivals, what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fun. I hope that we
Totally.
can continue to bring that energy. It's awesome to have you guys cooking, like have the smell everywhere, and then we've got like disco house music going and everybody's kind of partying. Um, I think we've done this now. This will be like our fourth time because we did Utopia a couple times, then we did Van Jam last year, and now we're doing it again. I feel like each time gets a little bit more better and a little
Yeah.
more organized.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
never forget that first Utopia we did. That was the most insane, fun experience.
Because it was almost spontaneous. It was like very little planning really went into it. It was just like, let's sling these sandwiches. And then the turnout that we got, and I was like the first festival. We had so many people in our little camp. It was
Yeah,
wild.
it was awesome.
Yeah. We'll be doing it a lot bigger this year because we'll be at our main stage. So we'll have, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be fun. Um, Kujo, I've reached out to you because Jason Magoon was kind of is collaborating with me and several people they're commenting on my post like offer something that's cruelty free, offer something that's vegan. um and so I started talking to Magoon about that, and he immediately told me to talk to you. So what's your interest in the camp out? And this is might be quite different from I imagine it's similar because like at a wedding, you're also catering. So you're going out, you're having to bring equipment. But the vibe maybe is going to be quite different at a festival versus a wedding. What interests you in coming out to Van Jam?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Jason and Mackenzie right away. It definitely starts with there being a lot more fun. Um, Definitely, we look forward to just meeting like-minded people. It tends that these festivals, as we all know, like bring together like a very, just thoughtful community, should I say, where everybody is genuinely interested in human connection, aside from, um, just whatever they're doing. And using also food to bring everybody together at the festival is a great thing. I've done a handful of festivals with Jason Magoon, and there's nothing like having people that just honestly they come up to eat wherever the kitchen is, and then they want to stay and they want to ask questions, they want to hang out, they want to get to know you, and they just feel so much better that like, wow, we just had this amazing meal, although we're out in the middle of nowhere, right? Like, and it really does show you like how food can impact your body and your other senses. So
Yeah, and your mindset too, like you said,
yeah,
bringing people together. We're going to be cooking food on this plateau, kind of seeming like we're in the middle of the desert, but we'll have enough infrastructure to cook really great gourmet stuff. And
yeah,
I think being able to feed people. It's one thing for me about festivals is often um, you can lose that connection to quality because you're out somewhere that might be remote or sort of a renegade, and a lot of the food vendors can just be overpriced and not really offering quality.
right.
And so I hope that that's something I know I'm confident, 100% confident that between you, the three of you, the food that we're going to be able to provide at the camp out is just going to be like next level compared to any other mini micro festival that I can imagine. So I'm really excited to be able to offer that to everybody. So last question for each of you. And Mackenzie, I want you to start this because at our pre-party, um, I want to, you're going to bring homemade marshmallows.
Yeah.
And I think, and so this will be like a teaser for last year at Van Jam, we did this s'mores board, which is basically like an array of options so that you can have a like gourmet sort of s'more. So it's like, it's not your grandpa's campfire s'more. We've got all kinds of different chocolates, marshmallows, graham crackers, spreads. So at the pre-party on April 5th, you're going to bring some homemade marshmallows that we can roast over a fire as a sample. And then if you could talk about that for a moment and then jump into what food are you guys thinking that you're going to plan for the meals on Saturday and Sunday at the camp out?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how the marshmallow thing started. I think I was just playing around and experimenting and wanted to do like a peppermint marshmallow for Christmas, but it's turned into this kind of thing that we've gotten excited about doing. And the smorgasbord was super awesome last year. So, it's also about being able to enjoy a treat like a marshmallow, but not have the guilt that might come along with it. And these, jet puffed and
Yeah.
they're not great for your body. And so it's cool. And I love making little gourmet things like that. So it's been fun to experiment with, and I'm really excited to share those with everyone.
Yeah, I think it kind of evolved actually. I'm thinking we at the restaurant we had a
Oh, I was doing a marshmallow fluff from
yeah,
scratch,
for like a
s'mores pie.
s'mores pie. And that was actually more of a, kind of just a not a formed molded marshmallow, but just a loose kind of, sticky topping that we would toast on there. And so then that kind of sparked, again, going back to foods, I think it interests both of us to try and make foods from scratch that
Mhm.
typically you don't. Most
Yeah.
most people just go to the store and buy a bag of
Yeah.
marshmallows, which is fine, but a homemade one is just that much better.
Well, and why not? That's what's something that is very important to us is like, why not? If you can do it, why not do it? And you'll find a lot of times that it's actually quite easy to make these things from scratch, and you just feel better about, putting love into something that has good ingredients and
It offers more of a unique experience.
Yeah, it's a night and day difference. Like before I had homemade marshmallows and I was roasting Jif, Jet, Puff, whatever. And then I had yours. Yeah, it's next level. It's almost like I'd never even had a marshmallow
yeah,
before,
it's a
Like
totally different thing.
yeah. So what meals, and I know that you guys are going to sort of have a way of kind of collaborating on the meal plan. We're going to do basically a big meal Saturday and a big meal Sunday. I want everyone to feel nourished, but we're going to concentrate the effort into one primary cookout. Um, so between all three of you, what sort of ideas do you have in mind? I know we'll do the Firebox, but what ideas do you have in mind for Saturday, Sunday cookouts at the Campout?
So obviously, as you said, the firebox chicken and just, that's essentially kind of our version of your traditional Southern hot chicken sandwich. And so we'll be doing that. And then additionally, we're going to have a teriyaki bowl that's going to have some fried pork and a little bit of teriyaki glaze with some fresh carrot and broccoli over steamed rice. We're also going to be doing some breakfast burritos to offer people if people want kind of more breakfast morning vibes. Um, and maybe a few other goodies, some tacos. So yeah, those are the two main things.
Cool. Kujo, anything to add to that about your recipes for Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, for Saturday, we're gonna do a traditional forage and flame plate, and we're gonna offer a grilled lion's mane steak, probably with some like fire roasted potatoes and vegetables. Throw a little steak sauce on there of sorts. And then we are also going to be piggybacking for Sunday, and Sunday we're gonna offer a marinated teriyaki soy curl in addition to the bowl. So the bowl will actually be available for everybody. It'll just be prepared slightly different, whether or not you were looking for the plant-based experience or not. And I think aside from that, Forge and Flame is also um, pretty well known for our vegan charcuterie selection. I make from scratch a few different charcuterie meats, including like a vegan prosciutto and pepperoni and stuff like that. So, aside from our hot meal offerings, we are just gonna bring about some charcuterie boxes that people could grab and take with them at any point during the day or night, just to either try it out or if they're hungry and planning to go, and they want to have their snack for after their next speaker or whatever happens, then they can do that.
That's such a
Awesome.
good idea. How exciting. I love that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to try that. That's a unique like a vegan cheese. I can't eat, almost
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
picture that, but I'm excited to
Yeah,
try it.
we do all cashew based for our cheeses too. So
Awesome.
very, very, very yummy.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, I think that's kind of it for the main questions that I might share with everybody. So thank you all for jumping on here. And we're about a month out. So yeah, thank you guys. I'm looking forward
Cool.
to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Just
Good
gonna
to
All
be
right.
talk
so
to you
much
guys.
fun.
Much love, guys. Take it easy.
All right.